All right, guys, you can go ahead and start showing that video, and then I'm gonna come back up and.
Welcome to Prophetic Headline. We, Mike, have a very, very prophetic show today.
Very timely, I think.
A very timely
Very
show.
timely. So let's get right into it pretty quick here because time's a wasting, as they say. So let's go.
Yes. Well, on the show today, we have two special guests. Our good friend, as we've had before, Chuck Pierce. And then someone that some of you may know, some of you may not know. This goes to 50 nations. Chris Reed. And so, Chuck, I'll introduce him one at a time. Chuck Pierce is president of Global Spears from Corinth, Texas. That's kind of near Dallas, Texas, for those of you who don't know. Apostolic Prophetic Ministry. And Chuck has written, it doesn't even say in your bio how many books. I think, have you written 14?
No, about 40 now.
40. Okay, 40 books. Boy, you left me in the dust. Anyway, he has a degree in business from Texas A&M, master's work in cognitive systems from University of North Texas, and Doctor of Ministry, Wagner University. And Chris is a wonderful guy. I got to know him when I was up at Rick Joyner's Roundtable at Morningside. He is the successor, had been appointed as a successor. Well, I'm, as it were, for Morningside, not for, you know, maybe Elijah for Rick Joyner, because Rick's not going anywhere. But anyway, he felt the call to minister at age 12, and he was preaching at age 14, and at 19, he was an assistant pastor, and then at 25, he was a senior pastor. And July 2021, Chris and his wife, Missy, and their children, their 6 children, relocated to Fort Mill, South Carolina to Morning Star Ministry. He's the lead pastor of Morning Star Church. And so we are excited to have them both and for them to get to know each other. Well, we discussed off air how we would kind of do this. And so not to dishonor Chuck, who's really the elder here, but Chris had a dream recently. And so many people have been asking me about your dream that I sent a little text to Chris, and then just in a day we decided let's get everybody on. So Chris, let's hear your voice. Tell about the dream. I know you've told it before, but tell everybody now, please, if you would.
Yeah, so I had this dream March 25th, 2022. I was actually staying up in Moravian Falls for a few days, and this is the dream. I'll get right into it. And by the way, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be with all of you. In the dream, I saw an unknown man dressed in a black suit holding a $50 bill. In the dream, he tore the $50 bill in 3 stages. In the first stage of the dream, he stood in front of me and he took the $50 bill and he tore off 1/3 of it. And as he did, random people started coming up, bringing me national newspapers, one right after the other, and all I could read were the headlines or the sub-headlines. The first one read, after he tore off 1/3 of the $50 bill, quote, "The dollar drops 30% in value," unquote. "Mid-East oil strikes deal with China instead of the U.S." I was then handed another headline entitled, quote, "The perfect storm," unquote, "Inflation reaches a new high." I was then handed another headline which read, quote, "Food shortage crisis as wheat and bread imports are at a stalemate." Then another headline was handed to me which read, quote, "Riots and civil unrest as citizens demand entitlement checks," unquote. In the second stage of the dream, I again directed my attention back to the man dressed in black, holding the rest of the $50 bill. And this time he tore it in half. And as he did, I felt an earthquake under my feet, and a person walked up to me and handed me a newspaper, and the headlines read, quote, "Israeli and Palestinian 2-state solution reached," unquote. Then another person came up and handed me another headline, which read, quote, "Major earthquake hits the middle of the U.S., unquote.
To watch the rest of this powerful message, download Panorama's app, which is available in all app stores by searching Panorama Christian Center. Create an account to stay connected with Panorama Christian Center. One word from God will change your life. Blessings.